Hi, welcome back everyone to another episode of the Fabrengen Parsha Shlach Tafshin Yud Beis 5712. Continuing on what we had said in the last episode, connecting the Kriyishma and Tefillin to a person's personal avodah, the Rebbe brings down an explanation from the Chayza of Lublin on this topic. And he says like this, that the reason why if a person is going to go and say the Kriyishma without putting on tefillin, it's going to be considered, like we said, bringing the carbon without the add-ons. He's saying that it's not such a problem. Why is it not going to be such a problem? Why is it not going to be this that we said earlier about this false testimony? Because a person is allowed to go and bring these add-ons to the carbon a few days later. So too, you can go and put on tefillin a little bit of time later after you go and you say Kriyishma. But the Rebbe does not like so much this explanation, and the Rebbe will be going and explaining why that is the case. Why it doesn't necessarily fit so well in what we are talking about over here. In simple words, is because if a person does not go and put on tefillin that day, he did not put on tefillin that day. Now, we may say that when it comes to tefillin, it's going to be different than the nesachim, because the night is technically also a time to go and put on tefillin, so it's not really considered a hefsek. But because the Chachamim were geyser to tell us that we cannot do that, so we don't go and do it. Rather, what is the explanation over here? When it will be considered a false testimony and when will it not be considered a false testimony? So the idea of this false testimony is only when a person is going to go and be mevata, meaning they say that he's going to hold back and not put on tefillin that day. Even if he said Shema, but he didn't put on tefillin at that moment, it's fine, as long as he's going to put on tefillin that day. But as soon as that day passes and he did not go and put on tefillin, he was not mekayim the mitzvah. He was not mekayim this idea, and that's why it's going to be considered an Eidah Sheker. Now, we said before about the night is not considered a hefsek really. The Payal Mamash, it will be considered a hefsek because the actual time is the actual night time is not a time to go and put on tefillin. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and spread the words of the Afotzas Hamyon Ischutza of the Rebbe's Torah.